Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that the signs you've been reading about in Islamic texts for years are no longer predictions. They're headlines. Barefoot Bedouins competing in building the tallest towers. Knowledge disappearing while ignorance spreads. Time moving so fast that a year feels like a month. Women outnumbering men. Earthquakes increasing. Wealth overflowing while hearts remain empty. Most Muslims have heard about the signs of the Day of Judgment. We've read the hadiths. We've listened to the lectures. But we've always thought of them as distant warnings, things that would happen someday to someone else in some far-off future. But what if that future is now? What if the minor signs of Qiyamah aren't coming? They're already here. What if we're living in the exact time period the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us about 1,400 years ago? Today, you're going to see the evidence. Not from conspiracy theories. Not from speculation. But from authentic hadiths compared directly to the world we're living in right now, in 2025. And by the end, you'll realize that the Day of Judgment isn't as far away as you thought. Let's begin with the sign that's literally reshaping the skyline of the Middle East. Imagine a desert. Sand stretching endlessly. Tribes of Bedouins living in tents, herding sheep, wearing simple garments, with no wealth, no technology, no power. Now imagine those same people, or their descendants, building the tallest skyscrapers on earth. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described this exact scenario 1,400 years ago. In the famous hadith of Jibreel, when the angel asked the Prophet about the signs of the hour, the Prophet replied, "When you see the barefoot, naked, destitute shepherds competing in constructing tall buildings." Sahih Muslim. Let's pause and break that down. Barefoot, people with no civilization, no infrastructure. Naked, poor, lacking basic resources. Destitute shepherds, nomadic herders with no education or technology. Competing in constructing tall buildings, obsessed with building the tallest, most extravagant structures. Now look at the Arab Gulf states today. Dubai, UAE. Burj Khalifa, 828 meters, the tallest building in the world since 2010. Burj Al under construction, set to surpass Burj Khalifa, expected completion 2028 to 2029. Saudi Arabia, Jeddah Tower, formerly Kingdom Tower, planned height, over 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer tall. The Line, a 170-kilometer-long linear city being built in Yawm. A Burj Al Bayt clock tower in Mecca, one of the tallest clock towers in the world. Just 100 years ago, these regions were inhabited by Bedouin tribes living in tents. Today, they are home to the most futuristic architecture on the planet. This isn't a metaphor. This isn't symbolic. This is the literal fulfillment of a prophecy made 1,400 years ago. And it's not slowing down. Every year, a new, tallest building project is announced. The competition is real. The hadith is unfolding before our eyes. But this is just the first sign. The next one is even more chilling because it's not about buildings. It's about the collapse of knowledge. Imagine a world where everyone has access to infinite information, yet nobody truly understands anything. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Among the signs of the hour, knowledge will be taken away, ignorance will prevail, alcohol will be consumed openly, and adultery will become widespread." Sahih Bukhari. Now look at the world in 2025. We have more access to information than any generation in history. You can learn anything with a single Google search. Free courses, YouTube tutorials, entire libraries in your pocket. Yet, ignorance has never been more widespread. Not ignorance of facts, but ignorance of truth, wisdom, and understanding. How is knowledge disappearing? The Prophet clarified this in another hadith. Knowledge will not be taken away by snatching it from people, but by the death of scholars. When no scholars remain, people will take ignorant leaders who will be asked questions, and they will give fatwas without knowledge. Thus, they will go astray and lead others astray. Sahih Bukhari. Look around today. Scholars of deep Islamic knowledge are passing away without being replaced by people of the same caliber. Instead, we have social media influencers giving fatwas based on personal opinions, not scholarship. We have motivational speakers replacing traditional scholars. We have people learning Islam from TikTok videos and Instagram reels instead of sitting with teachers. And the masses follow them blindly. This isn't an attack on social media. It's a recognition of a reality. When knowledge is reduced to sound bites, depth disappears. Alcohol and adultery becoming widespread. The Prophet mentioned these two sins specifically. Alcohol. In 2025, the global alcohol industry is worth over $1.5 trillion. Even in Muslim-majority countries, alcohol consumption is rising among the youth. Adultery and fornication, normalized through movies, music, dating apps, hookup culture. What was once hidden in shame is now celebrated openly. The Prophet didn't say these things would happen in secret. He said they would happen publicly, without shame. And that's exactly what we see today. Imagine asking someone, "How was your week?" And they respond, "I don't even know. It feels like it just started." The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The hour will not come until time passes quickly. A year will seem like a month like a week like a day like an hour, and an hour like the kindling of a fire." Ummah Tirmidhi. Every single person alive today feels this. Wasn't it just Ramadan? Now it's Ramadan again? Didn't this year just start? Now it's almost over? Why does time feel faster? Some scholars say it's a literal phenomenon, that time itself will compress near the end of times. Others say it's psychological. Our lives are so busy, so distracted, so overstimulated that we don't experience time mindfully anymore. Either way, the feeling is undeniable. We are living in a time where days blur together because of endless routines. Months vanish because we're constantly distracted. Years disappear because we're not truly present. And the more technology advances, the faster it feels. Notifications, emails, social media, 24/7 connectivity. The Prophet described this 1,400 years ago, and we're living it right now. Imagine being surrounded by luxury, but feeling completely hollow inside. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Wealth will be in abundance, to the point that a man will go out with his zakat and will not find anyone to accept it." Sahih Bukhari. In 2025, global wealth has never been higher. Billionaires exist in numbers never seen before. The stock market hits record highs every year. E-commerce, crypto, tech startups, money is flowing. Yet at the same time, depression rates are at an all-time high. Suicide rates are increasing, even in wealthy nations. Anxiety disorders affect over 300 million people globally. People have everything materially, yet they feel empty. Why? Because wealth without purpose is a curse. The Prophet warned, "By Allah, it is not poverty I fear for you, but rather that the world will be opened up to you as it was to those before you, and you will compete for it as they competed, and it will destroy you as it destroyed them." Sahih Bukhari. We are living in that exact moment. People work for money they don't need, to buy things they don't want, to impress people they don't like, and they call it success. Meanwhile, their relationship with Allah is non-existent. Their prayers are rushed. Their Quran is gathering dust. Their charity is a tax deduction, not an act of love. This is the sign. Wealth without spirituality. Success without soul. Imagine walking through a city and noticing that for every man you see, there are multiple women. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Among the signs of the hour, women will increase and men will decrease, to the point that for every one man, there will be 50 women." Sahih Bukhari. Some scholars interpret this literally, due to wars, diseases, or catastrophes that will kill men disproportionately. Others interpret it more broadly. Women will dominate in visibility, workforce participation, and social presence. Let's look at the data in 2025. In higher education, women now outnumber men in universities across the developed world. In many workplaces, especially corporate and healthcare, women make up the majority. In social media, content creation, and influencer culture, women dominate visibility. Is this exactly what the hadith meant? Scholars differ, but the pattern is undeniable. Additionally, due to wars, violence, and dangerous occupations, men die at higher rates globally. The ratio of 150 may be symbolic, or it may be literal in the end times. Either way, the shift the prophet predicted is already in motion. Imagine the earth beneath your feet shaking more frequently, more violently, with less warning. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The hour will not come until knowledge is taken away, earthquakes increase, time passes quickly, tribulations appear, and killing becomes widespread." Sahih Bukhari. Earthquakes in 2025. According to the United States Geological Survey, USGS, the number of significant earthquakes, magnitude 6.0 and above, has been rising over the past few decades. Just in recent years, Turkey-Syria earthquake, 2023 over 50,000 deaths. Morocco earthquake, 2023 over 2,900 deaths. Afghanistan, Indonesia, Japan, Philippines, all hit by major quakes regularly. Some scientists argue this is due to better detection technology. But even accounting for that, the frequency and intensity of quakes impacting populated areas is undeniable. The prophet didn't say earthquakes would be discovered. He said they would increase. And they have. Imagine a world where human life loses its value. Where mass shootings, genocides, and wars become so common that people grow numb to them. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The hour will not come until killing increases so much that the killer will not know why he killed, and the one killed will not know why he was killed." Sahih Muslim. Look at the world in 2025. Mass shootings happen so often they're barely covered in the news anymore. Genocides in Palestine, Yemen, Sudan, Myanmar, millions dead, displaced, forgotten. Gang violence, cartel wars, terrorist attacks, daily occurrences. The prophet said the killing would become random, senseless, detached from reason. School shootings by teenagers who didn't even know their victims. Drone strikes killing entire families. Bombs dropped on hospitals, markets, homes. People die, and the world scrolls past it like a meme. This is the sign. Imagine raising a child who grows up to disrespect you, disobey you, and cause you nothing but pain. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Among the signs of the hour, children will become a source of rage." Tabarani. In 2025, we see children disrespecting parents openly, influenced by social media trends that mock authority. Teenage rebellion normalized and celebrated. Parents afraid of their own children, unable to discipline them due to fear of legal or social consequences. The family structure is collapsing. Respect for elders is disappearing. And the prophet predicted this 1,400 years ago. Imagine walking into a mosque with marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and gold-plated calligraphy. Then you look around and see only 5 people praying. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The hour will not come until people compete in constructing mosques." Abu Dawud and Nasai. In 2025, mosques are being built with millions of dollars in funding. Lavish architecture, massive domes, expensive designs. Yet, attendance is dropping. Youth are disconnected. Spirituality is replaced by aesthetics. The prophet didn't praise this. He warned against it. Because a mosque isn't just a building. It's a place where hearts turn to Allah. And if the building is grand but the hearts are empty, it's a sign, not of success, but of the end. Imagine reading this list again in 5 years, 10 years, and realizing even more signs have been fulfilled. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave us these signs not to scare us, but to wake us up. The day of judgment is coming. The signs are here. And the question is not if it will happen, it's are you ready when it does? This is Soulful Deen. If this shook you, share it. Because the Ummah needs to wake up. The clock is ticking.